Using evidence, synthesis of sources. Your instructor asks you to write a research paper. To write effectively, you must be able to synthesize ideas from multiple sources. Synthesizing means comparing different sources and highlighting similarities, differences, and connections. When a writer synthesizes successfully, he or she presents new ideas based on interpretations of the evidence or arguments he or she finds in sources. Critical reading and critical thinking are key components of successful synthesizing. Synthesizing can be compared to a journey. You begin with prior knowledge of a topic, gain new knowledge about that topic from a variety of sources, combine and analyze this information, and at your final destination, evaluate the information and form an opinion. Another way to view synthesizing is to look at it as putting the pieces of a puzzle together. You collect the pieces of information from various sources and find connections to put together the entire picture. Synthesizing practice. Assume you want to write about the effectiveness of using Microsoft PowerPoint in presentations, and you collected these three sources. Let's read and decide the key ideas in each paragraph. Source 1. As everyone who uses Microsoft PowerPoint knows, it's not actually used to communicate ideas, but rather to not communicate ideas. Forget the advertisements about how PowerPoint helps you to organize, illustrate, and deliver your ideas professionally. It's not used for anything of the sort. A PowerPoint slide presentation, with its neatly ordered bullets, generic clip art, bold clear typeface, and bright colors effectively hides the fact that you do not really have very much to say. It's clear that the writer is against using PowerPoint. Now introduce the first writer's ideas with surname, year, and a suitable action verb like this. Then start paraphrasing the first writer's ideas as shown. We could say, Jackson 2001 claims that people do not use PowerPoint to communicate ideas. Instead, they use it to hide the fact that they do not really have any ideas to communicate. Let's move to source 2. Most people use the same software for presentations, and inevitably it makes us do things in a similar way. Everything is reduced to a few bullet points, which makes it hard to introduce complex ideas and guide people through a critical thinking process. PowerPoint turns almost every presentation into something similar to a sales presentation, when that is not always required. Maybe the problem is not so much with the software as with the apparent lack of alternatives. Again, this writer is against using PowerPoint. Introduce the second writer's ideas with surname, year, and a suitable action verb like this. Don't forget to add a suitable transition to link the similar opinions as shown with the transition furthermore. And then paraphrase the second writer's opinion, like saying, for example, furthermore, Marinchian 2003 believes that because so many people use the same software, it's inevitable that their presentations look similar. The problem may be lack of alternatives. Moving on to source 3. Despite PowerPoint's bad reputation, it's still possible to use it as a powerful tool to enhance your presentation. Just follow these 3 steps. First, stop using the templates. They make the viewing experience boring. Second, don't use text. Fill your slides with images and color instead. Finally, make the audience focus on you to explain everything in your presentation. In contrast, the last writer is supporting PowerPoint. Introduce his ideas with surname, year, and a suitable action verb like this. Don't forget to add a suitable transition to introduce an opposite opinion as shown with the use of on the other hand. Then start paraphrasing. So we could say, on the other hand, Atkinson in 2003 asserts that while PowerPoint has a bad reputation, it can still be used to support presentations effectively. Now, are you ready to write? Let's have a look at the paragraph outline. So first you introduce a concept. You make a point about a particular idea. That's your topic sentence. Then you support it with references, previous research results. Next, you add more support. Explain any critical details or evidence. If there's information refuting, contradicting the point made, add it. If there's more support for this contradicting evidence, give it. Then compare, contrast the different points of view on this topic. Okay, next you state your inference. Then, please remember to cite your sources, introduce each citation with a signal phrase, and link the ideas using transitions. You are ready now to write. So, we first start with the topic, which is what? PowerPoint effectiveness. We have to keep in mind the relationship between the writers, that writers 1 and 2 are against PowerPoint, whereas writer 3 is for it, if it's used well. We also should organize the ideas and decide which comes first. It's best to present the ideas of writers 1 and 2 together, as they are similar. You write a sentence to introduce the topic, like, for example, a number of research has been conducted on the effectiveness of using PowerPoint. You add a signal phrase and the paraphrase of source 1. Then you add a transition and the paraphrase of source 2, and another transition and a paraphrase of source 3. Next comes the inference. Like, for example, I can say it can be inferred that although PowerPoint is widely used to make presentations, there are conflicting ideas about its usefulness. Now, check the complete synthesis. We can see two main components of successful synthesis: evidence of your own ideas and a well-organized presentation of evidence. Note also the natural placement of source information. It's not just the list of sources you found, but an integrated whole. These sources are in conversation. Notice here that your own voice appears in the topic sentence, and your inference comes right after the synthesized sources. In this sample paragraph, inference is located at the end, but you could choose to make inference whenever it is appropriate in any part of the paragraph following your synthesis. Finally, both signal phrases and transitions help in building bridges within your paragraph. Okay, have a look now at the complete synthesis. Remember, both signal phrases and transitions help in building bridges within your paragraphs. A signal phrase's primary function is to introduce your sources and show why the sources you use are valid. Here are some examples of action verbs used in signal phrases. Transitions move the reader within your essay in a smooth fashion, warning in advance what type of material will be shown. Here are some examples. At the end, by activating prior knowledge of a topic and comparing and contrasting information, you will be able to synthesize information from a variety of sources, form educated opinions, and draw logical conclusions. Thank you for listening.